I used to travel a lot for work, mostly solo trips to unfamiliar cities. I work in IT security, and I'd often be sent to various company offices around the country to audit their systems. Not glamorous, not exciting, but it paid well. This story happened in 2019, a few months before the world shut down. I had a gig in a mid-sized town in upstate New York, not the kind with tourists or a skyline, just a flat, cold place with lots of strip malls and warehouses. My company booked me a room at a budget business hotel chain, nothing fancy, but clean enough. The kind with a front desk that closes at midnight, vending machines instead of room service, and thin carpets that always feel slightly damp. I got in late on a Sunday night. I remember because the woman at the front desk was locking up the little snack shop when I walked in. She looked annoyed to have to check me in, like I'd interrupted something. She handed me a key card and barely said a word. Room 311, top floor. I remember thinking the hallway smelled like cigarettes and pine cleaner. My room was on the end, 2 doors away from the stairwell. It was small, 2 queen beds, ugly green carpet, a desk facing a wall. I unpacked, opened my laptop, and worked until around 1:30 a.m. Right before I went to bed, I heard something strange. It was this sharp, hollow knocking sound. Not at my door, but close. Like someone was knocking on a wall with their knuckles. It wasn't rapid, just 2 or 3 knocks, spaced out, then silence. I figured it was plumbing, or maybe someone messing around in the hallway. Paper-thin walls. Not uncommon. I shrugged it off and went to sleep. The next morning, I got up early for a meeting. As I left my room, I noticed something weird. The Do Not Disturb sign on the door, 2 rooms down, room 313, was hanging sideways, barely hooked. I'm not sure why I even noticed it, but something about it just looked off. When I came back that night, around 7 p.m., I passed room 313 again. This time, I noticed the door was cracked open just slightly. No light coming from inside, no sounds. Just open, like someone had left in a hurry and didn't pull it shut all the way. Out of curiosity, or maybe because it creeped me out, I slowed down and glanced at the door as I passed. The room was dark. I couldn't see much, but I noticed a small rollerboard suitcase sitting just inside the doorway. It looked untouched, like it hadn't moved since check-in. I thought about reporting it, but I figured maybe housekeeping had just forgotten to close the door properly. Whatever, I went back to my room. That night, I heard it again. The knocking. Same sound, same pattern, slow, hollow, 3 knocks, but this time it was right behind my headboard. I sat up, heart suddenly thudding. I waited. Nothing. I got out of bed and went to the wall. I pressed my ear to it. Silence. Then, one more knock. This one louder. Closer. I couldn't tell if it was the wall, the hallway, or the next room over, but something about it felt intentional. The next morning, I went down to the front desk and casually asked about the guest in room 313. The guy behind the counter typed something into the computer, then raised an eyebrow. Room 313? Huh? That room's not booked. Hasn't been for a while, actually. I paused. Are you sure? There's a suitcase in there. He looked confused. Housekeeping didn't report anything. Want me to check it out? I said yes. We both went up. He had the master key. He knocked first, then opened the door. It was dark. The room looked abandoned. That little suitcase I saw, still there, still zipped shut. On the bed there was a jacket, neatly folded. No signs of a struggle, no lights on. But the weirdest part? The bathroom door was shut, and there was a towel stuffed under the bottom, like someone was trying to block light or smell from getting out. The hotel worker knocked on the bathroom door. No response. He opened it slowly. The light was off. The fan was on. Inside it was empty. No one there. But something about the smell. It wasn't foul, just strange, metallic, dry. There was a pair of scissors on the sink. Nothing else. The guy looked shaken. I'll report this, he muttered. Then he locked the room and put a real do not enter sign on it. That night was my last. I barely slept. Around 2 a.m. I heard footsteps in the hallway. Slow, measured. I peeked through the peephole. There was a man just standing outside room 313. He didn't move, didn't knock, just stood there. He had no luggage, just a hoodie and black jeans. His hands were in his pockets. After about 5 minutes, he turned, looked right at my door as if he knew I was watching. Then he walked toward the stairwell and vanished. The next morning, I checked out early. I asked the front desk if they found anything in room 313. They just said, management's handling it. I looked up news reports later that week. Nothing. But here's the part that still haunts me. About a month later, a Reddit post popped up in a travel thread. Some guy described a creepy experience he had in upstate New York, in a hotel, with someone knocking on the walls at night. He was in room 309, 2 doors down from room 313, just like I was.